apart in a certain order, but they want it to be able to come apart so they can move it. There's some more of that sauce.
Yeah. This here, they instructed us to go spend some time down at the beach, so we walked down there and got our feet wet, and because the water was very cold.
Yeah, the water was really cold. This actually is in that area right there where the sand was at. They've got like a boardwalk, I think is what they call it, where they have like shops and stuff, and eventually that's
Yeah,
where they want
there's
to
the
put. There
boardwalk.
we go. That's where they want to put their gazebo. I mean, it's quite
Along
long,
yeah.
and people sell sweaters, and there's even a guy that rents like cars and stuff, like little motor cars for kids.
They were just like pedal bikes. And there you can see they're like little four-wheel bicycles, and they rented them out, and kids would just ride their bikes back and forth on that. And then Tracy was down there checking things out. So this here is a picture, I think we had posted this on Facebook, but Tracy, for supper, she took us down to her friend Joyce's cafe that she has. It's called Benjamin's. And we had hot dogs and stuff there. And they have street dogs everywhere over there. And this particular one came up there and was looking at us, and next thing we know, she was up there, and Heath was petting her, and I was petting her, and then she practically climbed up in my lap. So we made a little friend there with that little dog.
I had to tell her we're not going to buy that dog a plane ticket. Come back.
Okay, and on Sunday, we went to a Chilean rodeo, and then done a picnic lunch after that. So we've got some pictures here of when we went to the rodeo. So this kind of...
There's one of their actual Parker things
Yeah.
on that guy. It wasn't very interesting. I don't know, it just wasn't. It wasn't bull riding and all that stuff. You can go ahead, April.
Okay. On Monday, we got up and we done our devotions, and it went over using what God gave you. God deserves your best. Begin by assessing your gifts and abilities, then consider your heart and personality. Then examine your experiences and extract what you have learned. We need to use the shape that God gave us and use it to serve God and do His work the way He designed us to do it. We prayed, and then we continued working on the gazebo. On this day, the sheeting was going up and more cutting and sanding of the spindles.
And just a real quick note, that right there is kind of hard for me because I like to be the person on the roof, but it's amazing how, it just doesn't matter. It's down on the, somebody had to be on the ground, and with it not being fastened to the ground, the poles being in concrete, it wasn't like extremely wobbly, but you can't get too many people up there on that small roof, so it all worked out real good.
You can go ahead and scroll through those. And this here, Tracy, for lunch, we went ahead and went down to another restaurant that there's in Caputo, and we had fish and curry rice and I think it was an apple pie for dessert that we had. And then we went back, and while we were eating, Caleb stayed back there. The sister to the guy that house burnt down, she went and bought some wood and asked Caleb to make some bunk beds for the little boys. So while we were eating, he was there working and cutting and getting stuff ready to get the bunk beds together. And then we came back and done some more work on the gazebo.
Yeah, they did incidentally ended up getting a ladder. The city was around in that area doing the roads and stuff, and they stopped by and I don't know, Caleb might have went out and asked them, and they let us borrow their ladder for the weekend. So that
Yeah,
was
because
nice.
this was on Monday, which was Columbus Day, and down there
That's what it was.
for like Columbus Day and the holidays, it's like pretty much everything shuts down, so there wasn't a whole lot of businesses and stuff open.
Did you have a picture of that?
Yeah.
With the
There's-
railing up?
Yeah, it's on Tuesdays. Do you want to do the final day? Or?
Day 10, we had breakfast, and we talked about how real servants act. Real servants do their very best and do their very best with what they have. They are faithful to their ministry, maintain a low profile. Being a real servant means you do it with all your heart, and do it for God and not for recognition for yourself. Thinking like a servant thinks more about others than about themselves. They think like stewards, not owners. Servants base their identity in Christ because they remember they are loved and accepted by grace. They do not have to prove their worth. Then we prayed with Caleb. Then we prayed, and then Caleb and I went out and we put shingles on the roof. Then we had to stop so Caleb can finish the bunk beds for those kids.
But yeah, his sister came over. She's one of them that works on the blankets. And this particular blanket that we bought wasn't completely finished. The ends needed to be tied. So she came over to finish up the blanket for us so we could take it home with us, and then also to pick up the bunk beds. So we went ahead and he finished the bunk beds, and then we had lunch, and then we packed up the vehicle. These here are the spindles, what it's going to look like. There's actually going to be a bigger hole in the center of but he did not have a drill bit big enough to get that at the time, so we just got that stuff done. And then we headed back home. That's when we left it, that's where it was at when we left it. And this here was a picture Heath took. You can see the snow-top mountains in the background. There's areas there that's cold enough to where it's snow tops. And then we wound up getting to the airport and getting our long trip back home.
There, just a couple more comments. The people over in Papudo, we as Americans, we're so blessed that we don't realize that other people go without a lot of different things. But the people over there, they look at it as they're rich because they're more focused on family and friends and their neighbors, and I think a lot of times around here we take that for granted. And also the beautiful scenery that they have. It doesn't matter where you go down there, it looks just like this. I mean, it's beautiful.
Mountains
it's gorgeous.
everywhere and coast, and it's just beautiful down there. I think that's all we have.
Yeah, so again, thanks for allowing us to go. And I didn't feel that we got as much done as what I would have liked to got done, but they were pleased. They actually said they didn't think we would get that far along. And
I got a question. When they decide where they're going to put the gazebo, how are they going to get it there?
They're going to take it apart and get a pickup truck and...
Well, I assume the roof is not finished because it comes out in 3 sections, and then when they put it back together, so they're going to have to cap all the seams, right?
Right. Actually, each section on the short end, all 3 of those sections come off. They have to come off in order. And then the center section comes apart.
Yeah.
I got another question. What do the men do down there for?
Well,
They don't make blankets and sweaters and stuff like that.
I don't know.
I know it's probably, a lot of men probably fish.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of.
I mean, they don't like have factories.
No, they could have factories.
Down there, yeah.
They could have, like factories and stuff where everybody's got a 9-to-5 job or whatever.
You know, there's got to be something more than just having crafts and stuff like that. It's got to be like, here in this country, we have people get into tough times. Well, if everybody gets into tough times, nobody else will stop working to buy this stuff. So they have something other than just...
Well, I think they do a lot. They do a lot of things for each other. And, money down there to them is not important. What's more important to them is family and taking care of, like this guy whose house burnt down, taking care of him. The first thing the Godoys said is, we've got some extra mattresses in the basement or whatever, and that Caleb is knowledgeable in building things, and I think he does a lot of that. When there's nothing doing for this minute, or nothing pressing for this ministry, he's going to people's houses that need things built, and that's how he gets a little bit of money. So, and like I said, there are people that set up along that boardwalk, and, you know, they sell these blankets. There's a lady that, I don't know, she had purses and things like that. That's how they make their money. There was a guy at a grocery store. I know, I mean, you got to understand, things are a lot different over there. He was basically a parking attendant, you know, and he didn't work for the grocery store. He worked for himself. He would help you back into your parking space and make sure there was nobody behind you. And I know it sounds weird, but they do things like that over there. That's how they make their money. But as far as
make money and getting tips, you tip them for helping you get in and out of your parking spaces.
I know they got copper mines over there. And matter of fact, that's where those miners got trapped underground for 66 days over there somewhere. So
And another thing about the house being burnt down there in South America, the government, like if you have your house burnt down or something, they provide what they call a half house. So they will have a house that's basically, it looks like half of a house, and it's just got enough there where you have some place to stay.
it's kind of like what we would consider a FEMA trailer. I mean, it's definitely not the same thing,
But this year, they get to keep that, and if, you know, as they get money and stuff, they can add on to that and make it into a full house. But the government down there at least, you know, gives them a place to stay down there until they're able to get things back going. I think also Tracy did say that the brethren up here in the States is give funding about $1,500 for those people down there so they can add on to that half house that they're going to get.
Okay, anyone have any other questions for us? Okay.
That's all we had.
Very good.